Okay, so today actually we are going to talk about S3. S3 is actually uh, it's the abbreviation of simple storage service, and it's really a very important topic for the cloud practitioner exam. Also, after the cloud practitioner exam, if you want to take some other exams like uh, certified solutions architect, then it's a very important topic. So understanding S3 well is crucial. This is my console, and I'm going to S3. If you can click here at the top, click here at service, the drop down. I think it's called main or something like that. Okay, and in the storage section, we can see S3. We have some other options like EFS, Elastic File Storage, or S3 Glacier Storage Gateway. S3 Glacier Storage Gateway, they are also important, and EFS also, they are also part of the certified uh, cloud practitioner exam. So at first we will talk about S3. And there are a few storage classes when we are talking about S3 actually. So I told you to study about it. I think you already have some basic idea. Still, I can just tell you the name right now. Like the first one I will talk about is S3 standard. Then the second one S3 standard. It's like it's used for the basic things, and then we have S3 infrequently accessed. So infrequently accessed, we can definitely understand that it's used for the data that we actually infrequently access. And then we have S3 one zone IA. IA means infrequently accessed. So one zone infrequently accessed means here actually the availability zone is only one. So it's not a good option actually. S3 one zone IA is not a good option, because if there's only one availability zone, then if that availability zone is down, then we will lose access to our storage. And after that we have S3 intelligent tiering. So intelligent, we can understand of what intelligent means actually. It's intelligent. It's in that way, like when we will set up the intelligent and tiering, then what we can do, our data, suppose we have our data in one storage class, and intelligent tiering works in such a way that it actually moves the data from one storage class to another storage class based on the usage, like how much we are using them, how frequently we are actually using them. Based on some criteria, it moves the data from one storage class to another storage class, something like that. Then we have S3 Glacier. Then also, I think we have, you can see it here, S3 Glacier here. Okay, we have one other option hours that actually I forgot that, but anyway, our purpose is to do some labs there. So the first thing we have to do, you can see here, I have created 3 buckets. So I created those buckets for different purposes. But for today's class, I'm going to create a new bucket, and while creating the bucket, we will learn a lot of things. After creating the bucket, we will learn a lot of things. So let's go ahead and hit create bucket. So what is the bucket? Bucket is like a reservoir. So in this reservoir, we will actually put our information, all our data. So this is the bucket. And in a bucket, everything is called an object. What is that object? A folder. We are creating a folder. A folder is an object. Then, in the folder, we have some files. So here we can see the bucket name. This is very important to uh, remember for the exam also, that this bucket name should be globally unique. Suppose here it's like, okay, let's see. We can see this bucket name is front end homework 2. So let's try to create a bucket with the same name, front end homework 2, right? So what it says, bucket name is already owned by you. Okay, it is saying bucket name is already owned by you. That means uh, actually, yeah, I have that bucket. I have already created that bucket. But generally, if there is any other bucket with the same name created by anyone from any corner of the world, you cannot create that bucket again. The bucket name should be globally unique. So maybe let's try something else. Okay, let's put Texas and see if someone else has created a bucket with the same name or not. Let's try to create. Okay, yeah, bucket name already exists. So maybe maybe someone from Texas has already created a bucket with this same name. But if I create a bucket, suppose maybe Ida, you did not create any bucket using your own name, most probably. So let's do it like this. Ida
That's
DevOps class. Okay. Let's just give it a name Ida DevOps class. So yeah, but I think we can create it right now because no one is going to use this a complicated name. And after that, we have a region. So you might get confused because the bucket name should be globally unique, but you can create the bucket in a region. You have to create the bucket in a region. Like we have different regions, multiple regions here. It's like we can see as we are in the United States right now. So in the United States, uh, yeah, US East North Virginia. Actually, North Virginia, but from here, I think, as far as you know, all the new services of Amazon are launched from US East region. And then we got US East, Ohio region, US West, North Carolina, US West, then Oregon. So this bucket should be created in a region, but the bucket name is global. So I'm going to create this bucket in US East, North Virginia. And after that, we have another option, copy settings from an existing bucket. So yeah, if you, yeah, I have three other buckets. So if I click here, then I can copy the settings of those buckets. Like the setting, what are those settings actually? Settings might be, we are going to configure in the next step where we can configure different options. Then we can set the permissions, like who can access it. So those types of settings we can copy from these buckets, but we are not going to do that because we want to learn. So this is the bucket name and this is the region where we created it. Right now, let and hit next, and let's go to, yeah, here we are. Okay, so versioning. What is versioning? We will definitely talk about it after creating the bucket. I'm not going to talk about that right now. Server access logging, we will also talk about it. And then tags are tags are like a key value pair. So if you, the key is the name, And name means, when you are, if you put this tag here, then after creating the bucket, you can easily find out for which purpose you created this bucket, or you can use these types of tags for some other purposes, like here we can see server access logging. So we will see that later on. Then object level logging, we can also see it later on. And default encryption, yeah, if we want, then we can, while creating the bucket, we can actually choose this option to automatically encrypt any objects that we create and store in our S3 bucket. So for the time being, when you will learn it, when you will do all these labs, then you have to keep in mind that while creating your bucket, you can, if you want, then you can actually enable versioning, server access logging, then object level logging, then default encryption. If you want advanced settings like object lock, you can lock the object, whichever object in this bucket you will put, you can actually lock that object to this bucket. And I'm not going to do that, and that's like a kind of advanced topic. So CloudWatch request metrics, we actually still did not uh, study CloudWatch. So let's not just talk about it right now. We'll talk about it later. So let's click next. And here, this is a block public access. I mean, here right now, automatically, it's very important to know for you that when you will create the bucket, by default, the public access is blocked. You have to keep it in mind, because this type of questions can come. So okay, so by default the public access is blocked. If you want, you can uncheck it and then make it public to the world, but we are not going to make it public right now. We will make it public later, because before that we need to do something else. So click on next, and here you can see all your settings, actually whatever you have chosen and whatever you haven't chosen. And finally we are going to hit create bucket and create this bucket. So here is our bucket, IDA DevOps class. This is the bucket, and here you can see bucket and objects not public. Why they are not public? Because we actually did not make them public, right? I just showed it. And this is the region, US East, Northern Virginia, and this is the time when we created the bucket, actually. So if you click on this bucket, then if you want to delete this bucket, you can delete it from here, and you can see many the options, the properties, the permissions, the management. So we can actually see if you go inside the bucket. So let's go inside the bucket and we will see a lot of things. Yeah, so this is our bucket. So bucket is actually used, I already told that to store our objects. So we are going to actually store our object to this bucket. So which objects can we store? Let's see. Let's okay. We can hit upload, then add files. After that, let's just upload something from our from my desktop. So from my desktop, if I upload this file, yeah, it's here. And if you click next, then here you can select You can choose you have many other options what you can select, like this is the object permission. So these are we are not going to do that, select them right now. We will do that later. Just click next. I'm just showing them to you. And from here, by default, when you will actually put an object, store an object to your bucket, they will be in the standard storage class. They will be in the standard storage class. But from here, if you want, then you can choose some other storage class. Like here, we have the intelligent tiering. Here, the standard infrequently accessed, one zone infrequently accessed. This is Glacier. This is Glacier Deep Archive. Reduced redundancy. Reduced redundancy, it's not recommended because it's like outdated. And here, one thing is important to keep in mind. Just check here the availability zones. So here, for one zone, IA infrequently accessed, the availability zone is usually 1. So, but for others, for all other storage classes, the availability zone is greater than or equal to 3. So just keep it in mind for the exam. And encryption, by default, your object will not be encrypted. If you want, you can encrypt them using the Amazon S3 master key or AWS KMS master key. And these are the metadata. Metadata is, it's the data about your object. They're the data about your object, like what is the size of this object. It's something like this. These are called the metadata. Click on next and click upload. Okay. Now our file is uploaded. Now here at the bottom, we can see a success message here. Click on success and it says 100% successful. That means our object has been successfully uploaded to our bucket. If you click on view details, yeah, it actually doesn't show anything here. But I'm actually looking for the HTTP status code. You also know that when this the successful upload means it will show an HTTP status code 200. So it's also an important topic for the exam, because in the exam they might ask when you will upload something to your Amazon S3 bucket and the upload is successful, then which status code, HTTP status code will actually show up? It's definitely 200. We know that. If you click here, then we can this window or whatever it is, we can see this object URL. So definitely clicking on this object URL, we should actually see whatever this object contains. So let's just open it in a new tab and see. We can see that access is denied. So why is this access denied? Let's go back and see here. This bucket is not public. So definitely, so when it's not public, the access will be denied. So we have to make it public first. Let's make it public. Click save, and we have to type confirm here. And we know this bucket is public, right? Now let's try to see if we can see it or not. The URL is already here. Let's just try to reload it. We still cannot see it. Why? Because the bucket is public, but this specific object is not public. So we have to make this object public also. And we may just make this object public. Now if we redo it, we should, yeah, there you go. We can see it now. Because the bucket is public, and we just made this object public. So it's important to understand that to see an object, the contents of an object, you have to make the bucket public, then the specific object public. Now we know we can see this object, but if I upload another object, will we be able to see that object? Let's just upload a JPG file and let's try to see if we can see it or not. Click here, and this is the URL. Open it in a new tab. It's actually denied, but the access is denied. Why? Because we did not make this specific object public. So let's just make it public. Yeah, we made it public, and where we can see the wall, that the success status. There has been no error, fortunately. Okay, now reload it. We should be able to, yeah, there you go, there you go. We can see it right now. Okay, so we just saw one thing here. We have many other options to see. Now suppose you want to delete this file, so how can you delete it? Actually create a click here, and definitely if you click here, then click delete, and this file is deleted. Just to make sure, let's reload it. Yeah, the file is deleted. We don't have that file here, and we have many other options here, like select it and click here, and if you want, then you clicking on, you can download it, then you can actually see the total size of it. If you click here, then you can change the storage class. Then many other options, like you can change the encryption, because it's not encrypted, right? By default they are not encrypted, but if you want to encrypt it, you can encrypt them. So encryption in Amazon S3, actually there are two types of, mainly there are two types of encryption. One is uh, through SSL. You know what SSL is? I mean, it will be done by when we will use the HTTPS or HTTP, uh, and I mean, yeah, HTTPS. And the second one is encryption at rest, actually. So encryption at rest can be actually also of two types. There's like the server side encryption and the client side encryption. So what is the client side encryption? Suppose we have our file on our computer and we encrypted it on our computer. After that, we are uploading that encrypted file to our bucket. So that's called the client side encryption. Now the server side encryption. So server side encryption, one encryption can be, is one encryption is called actually SSES3. That means servers S3 managed server side encryption, something like that. So this is the server side encryption, actually S3 managed server side encryption. This is AES 256. This is an algorithm. This is an algorithm, and here the KMS, key management service. So KMS managed encryption also, we can use any of them. So if we use KMS, AWS KMS, then let's see which options we have. We have AWS S3 custom KMS ARN. These two options, we can select any of them. And let's see which other options we have. We have like add tags. If you want, we can add tags. If you want, you can rename it. You can copy cut. And you can also change the metadata if you want. This is here. We have a lot of options, actually. So you have to explore. Next time when you will do it, you have to explore. You have to see which options actually produce what type of object. So now let's move on to properties. In properties, the first thing that we see is versioning. Versioning means by default it is disabled, but if you enable versioning, then you would actually be able, you just saw that I deleted one file, right? From here we had two files, but I deleted that file. So if we had versioning enabled, then actually, even though I deleted that file from here, still it would be in our bucket. So how would that still be in our bucket? We will see it now. Versioning means we can keep multiple versions of the same object in our bucket. So for that purpose, we have to enable versioning first. So click on enable versioning and click save. Now that versioning is enabled, now we will see actually what we can do here. So let's upload that same file here. Yeah, this is AWS text. The same file. I'm uploading the same file. Okay, so we got our file here. Now, when we enable versioning, these options it shows up here. Like you know when the versioning was disabled, when it was not enabled, we actually didn't see it. But once the versioning is enabled, we have these options to choose. So right now, this hide is selected. That means we cannot see all the versions of this object. Actually, right now we don't have multiple versions of these objects. Okay, but let's upload another file, the same file again, and we will actually change the file a little. So if I add fork rule here, okay, and let's upload that file again. Yeah, the same file. Okay, we uploaded the same file. Now let's see if we can see fork rule in that file or not. We have to make it public first. Okay, I made it public and reload it, and there you go. We can see fork rule. But what is the other versions? If you click on show, that means show all the versions of the files. There you go. We can see it was actually the original version, the first version of aws.txt file, and this is the latest version. So if you click here, let's try to see what that is. Okay, we have to, yeah, we did not make it public. Let's just make it public first and reload it. See, the original version, it does not have fork rule, but the latest version that we uploaded, it has fork rule. So this is versioning. Now hide the versioning, and we will see something very important. You have to obviously keep them in mind for the exam also. Click here and delete this file. Then see what happens. Okay, now delete it. Now we don't see it here, right? So did we actually delete it? Click show versioning. Then see this here. We can see 7:38. This is our time, 7:38. So this is what we just did. We can see delete marker here, and it is aws.txt file. So what we actually did, when your versioning is enabled, and if you click on hide versions here, if you click on hide versions, that means you are not seeing all the versions. And then from here, if you delete your file, then actually you are not deleting that file. You are putting a delete marker on that file. And that file is going here, and we can see the latest file with the delete marker. So if we want to get this file back, then what we can do, we will select it and then again delete it from here. So what did you do deleting that file? We actually deleted the delete marker of that file, and as we deleted the delete marker, as we removed the delete marker from that file came back here. Now you can see where you the versioning, the versions are hidden. If you delete the file, then you are not actually deleting it, you are putting a delete marker on the file. But if you really want to delete this file, then what you will do, you will show the versions clicking here, then you can see all the versions, then you will click here, then after that from here is no delete marker, right? From here try to delete it and see what happens. Okay, we don't see the latest file, right? And here the latest file that we see is actually the original aws.txt file. Okay, because the second aws.txt file that we just uploaded, we just deleted here. And how we will actually make sure, how we will actually know that we just deleted the second version of this aws.txt file? Click here and try to see if this is the original version of aws.txt. Okay, yeah, we don't see fork rule here. That means this is the original version of aws.txt file. So this is all about versioning actually. Then after that, as we enable versioning, we cannot disable it. We can just suspend the versioning. Once we enable versioning, we can not disable it. We can just suspend the versioning. So I just suspended the versioning. The next thing is server access logging. So server access logging means actually we want to keep the records of all the requests made to our server. So if you click here and if you want to enable the server access logging, then what you are actually doing, here is a target bucket. So what is the target bucket? The target bucket is where you want to store the log information. So this is our current bucket, right? If you click here, if you want to choose this bucket, then there will be a problem, because every time the log information will be saved in this bucket, this will generate another log, because when this log information is being saved in this bucket, it's actually accessing this server. So as it is accessing a server, for this reason another log will be generated. So it will dramatically increase the size of our bucket. For this reason, we will have to actually select a different bucket where we will keep this log information. So I'm just showing you how to do it. I'm just selecting a different bucket here, and if you click save, then you can actually save all the log information to that bucket. And this target prefix. So what is the target prefix? Here two things you have to keep in mind. One is prefix and another one is suffix. So prefix is actually, it's the folder name. Just think that it's the folder name, and suffix is the file name actually. So if you just do it here like this, log /, then what it will do, it will create a folder named log in this bucket, and in that folder is store all the log information. So it's something like that. And if you click save, yeah, there you go. We enable the server access login. And static website hosting. So this is an interesting thing. It's like uh, if we can host our static website. Just what I did, I hosted my static website, my personal portfolio website in Amazon was S3. So if you want, you can also do it. So how we will do it actually, we have to click here and then use this bucket to host a website. Then we have to put the index.html file, the name of the index document. Then if you want, then we can also create an error document and we can put it there, and then we have to save it. But right now actually we don't have any file like this here. So let's let them be here. If what we can do actually, if okay, if we go to any other folder, then we can do one thing. Like here, what we can see here, yeah, we have I have already HTML files, CSS files. So let's just upload these files to that bucket and see what happens. So if you want to select all the files at a time and want to upload here, then what you need to do, click on upload and it says drag and drop files and folder. So select them. Okay, let's just minimize it. Yeah, now I selected them, I just drop them here. Okay, I dragged and dropped all the files there and now upload them. All the files are being uploaded. Those files are actually big in size. That's not that big actually. Okay, I think it's taking a long time because how many files was the size actually? Okay, okay, I understand. 8.2 megabyte to 5 megabyte almost. Okay, we need to wait 1 or 2 minutes actually. We're almost there. Excuse me. Okay, now all of our files are uploaded here and this is the index file. So let's go to properties and try to host this static website here. Select use this bucket to host website. Index file is index dot, what was that, HTML. And we are not going to actually redirect the request to any other domain. We will simply use this link. So click save. Now, as we hosted our website, if we click on here, are we able to actually access it? Yeah, it says access denied. It is the reason. The reason is because we didn't make them public. So let's try to make them public first. Okay, it's actually taking some time. Okay, let's reload it and see. Yeah, there you go. Okay, now we can see it. This is our static website. I actually just started working on that. I was practicing it. And I just uploaded it. So this is what I did there, and we can see the link here. This is at first the bucket name .st website, then the region US East one, then .amazon aws.com. So this is our static website. So that's how actually we can host our static website. So we are done with them. Now the object level logging. So object level logging, what is this actually? If you want to record your API activity in an object, uh, for each of your object at the object level, then we can enable object level logging. So if you click on here, then object level logging, it's important to understand, because sometimes this type of questions actually show up in the exam a lot of time. Like, what do you need to do, or what do you need to use if you want to enable the if you want to actually log the object level requests of your S3 bucket. So we have to actually use CloudTrail. CloudTrail is used to record the API activity. It's very important to keep in mind. CloudTrail is used to record the API activity. So if you want to enable the object level logging, then you definitely need an existing trail. CloudTrail. So we don't have any CloudTrail trail. If you want to do that, then we have to click here, and we have to actually create a trail from here. So I'm just showing where to go. You have to click here, and then after that you can actually create your trail from this place. And you have to give that trail name here. It's like okay, I'm just putting your name, Ida, and then apply trail to all regions. Do you want to apply this trail to all regions or not? Just select yes, and then management events. So events means actually when it will work. Is it read only or write only? Log AWS KMS events, key management service events. Do you want to log them or not? You have to select them from here. And from here, we can also, if you want, then you can also select the log insights events if you want. And here, if you want, then you can select all S3 buckets in your account. But if you want to add a specific bucket, then you can add the bucket. Okay, let's show it again. You can click add S3 bucket. Then from here, you can actually select our bucket IDA here. And if you want to use a prefix, I just told you what prefix is. So if you want to use a prefix, then you can put it here. After that, you can actually select for which events you want to record the API activity, for read or write. Read means get request. Write means put request, post request, something like that. And this is lambda function. That's a different topic. We will talk about that later. Lambda, it actually helps create a serverless environment. And storage location. So why do you want to store all this data? I mean, this API, you are logging the API activity, right? So why do you want to store them? So you have to put the bucket name here. If you want, you can create a new bucket, or if you don't want to create a new bucket, then you can select a bucket name from here. That means what it actually means, you will create a bucket here, and after that you can select the bucket from here and choose the bucket. Just select it to this bucket because we are not ultimately going to create it, right? And after that, if you want to put any tag, then you can put a tag here, and then if you click create, then you will create this cloud trail. So create, let's click create, and okay. Uh, is there anything wrong here? I don't see actually. Do no. I don't understand actually what's wrong here, but whatever. I just showed you how we can create a cloud trail. Okay, then after that, after creating the cloud trail, you have to choose that trail from here. Then if you want from here also, you can select for which events you want to log the API activity for read or for write. Read means I just told you that read means get request, and write means put request, and then you can create the object level logging. So object level logging, we can do object level logging of S3 using cloud trail. Object level logging means we are recording the object level API activity. Okay, object level API activity with trail with cloud trail. And server access logging, we can do the server access logging, but for this purpose we don't need to use cloud trail. And then default encryption. So if you enable default encryption, and I just told that AES 256, it's uh, actually server-side encryption with Amazon S3 managed keys, SSES3, and this is SSE KMS. You can choose any of them for default encryption. And if you enable default encryption, then whatever data, whatever object you upload to this bucket, they will be by default, they will be automatically encrypted if you select them. And let's come here. Object log. So if you actually enable object log, then what it means, you will actually prevent the objects from being deleted. There are definitely some ways to delete it, but normally you cannot delete them. And one very important thing that you cannot actually enable object lock after creating the bucket. You can only enable object lock while creating the bucket. So it can be a very good question, exam question. Like suppose you are giving a scenario where suppose Ida uh, created a bucket, Ida created a bucket, then she's actually trying to enable object lock, but she's not being able to uh, do that. So how can she do it? Your possible answer might be after creating the bucket, object lock cannot be enabled. Ida should create a different bucket, and while creating the bucket, she should actually enable object lock. And I just talked about tags also. Then transfer acceleration. Okay, transfer acceleration is very important. So transfer acceleration, what does it mean actually? It means suppose we are uploading a file to S3 bucket. Then if we enable transfer acceleration, then we are actually using a network that is called CloudFront content delivery network. So we did not talk about CloudFront yet. When we will talk about CloudFront, then we will actually understand what it exactly means. But for the time being, just suppose CloudFront content delivery network or CDN network actually helps us accelerate the upload of our object to S3 bucket. So it actually speeds up the process. So when we are using transfer acceleration, there's something called edge location of CloudFront, and in that edge location, those edge location actually, suppose we are in Texas, and from Texas we are actually going to upload an object to S3 bucket, and each location, there are a lot of each locations all over the world. So when I will enable transfer acceleration, my object will first be uploaded to my nearest edge location, and then my object will be cached in that edge location for a certain amount of time, and it will be cached there. But in the meantime, my object will be uploaded to the S3 bucket from that edge location. So this is actually what happens. And it's I can give you one more idea. Like when you are downloading anything from your S3 bucket, then at first from the S3 bucket is being downloaded to the edge location. It's being cached there for a certain amount of time, and you are being able to download it, you are being able to watch it. And when it is being cached, when it is cached, that object is cached in that edge location. If someone else tries to download the same object, then what will happen? Actually, that object will not be downloaded from the S3 bucket because it's already cached in that edge location. So from that edge location, the new user can download that file. So it sped up the process because the file has not been downloaded from the S3 bucket this time. So this time is saved. So this is what the process is. And then events, S3 events. So events, what are the events? The events can be of many types, like when you are deleting an object from the S3 bucket, where we are uploading an object to the S3 bucket, when we are putting a delete marker, when you are uh, editing it. It's something like that, lots of events. So for those events, actually, if you enable it, and then for each of those events, if you want, you can send a notification, you can get a notification to your email, or you can have the notifications in many different ways actually. So if we click it, then we will see what exactly happens. If you click on add notification, then we are actually going to add the notification. Okay, yeah, we are actually going to add the notification here. So let's just put a notification name. So what can be the notification? It's like, okay, okay, just write bucket events, just write bucket events. And after that, if you want, you can put a prefix. If you want, you can put a suffix here. That means for any, if you want to, want the notification generate in for a specific file, like for the jpg file, all the jpg files, then you can use here dot jpg. It's something like this, asterisk sign, then dot jpg. Oh, sorry, it's something like this. And if you want to enable it for any specific bucket, for any specific folder, like all the activities that are actually going on in that folder, for them we want to get the notification. So suppose like here, if you click here, then I can see, I can show you I have an image folder here. So if I want to get uh, the notification for any type of change in that folder, then what we can do, okay, bucket notification, we can just image forward slash, I can just put the prefix here. Then send to means where do we want to send the notification actually. I can select SNS topic. So what is this SNS topic? SNS means actually simple notification service. So simple notification service means using this service actually for different types of events, for different types of activities. We can get email notification, we can, and then there are some other options also. So if you click here, then it says SNS topic. Here we have to put the SNS topic actually. So right now we actually don't have any SNS topic created. I will try to create an SNS topic for you guys and try to show you whether I can do it or not. I already got a boilerplate code here, and then let's see if I can do it or not. Okay, so we are in SNS, Amazon SNS. Click on topics. I already have one topic, billing alarm, to know the, well, how much I used the services here. So to create a topic, let's click create topic. If I click here, S3 bucket notification, just put a name here. Then display name, I'm not going to put any display name. If you want, you can encrypt it. And then after that, this is the access policy. Okay, let's do that after some time. We are not going to do anything with them, just create this topic. There you go, our topic is created. Now this topic is created, so the next thing is we have to actually subscribe it. We have to subscribe to this topic. So subscribe means what? How do you subscribe to something online? You use your email address, definitely, right? So, or you can do it in some other ways. Click subscription, and then after that, how do you want to subscribe to it? HTTP, HTTPS, different format actually. Do you want to subscribe using Amazon SQL? Do you want to put the notifications to simple queue service? Do you want to pass it to AWS Lambda and generate a Lambda function? Or how do you want to pass it to a mobile? You can, but I am going to just to show you whether it's working or not. I am going to use email. Okay, and then the endpoint. So what is the email? The email is, I'm putting my email. Okay, I put my email. After that, I don't need to do anything else. I'm not going to actually do anything else here. And create subscription. Now here it says subscription to S3 bucket notification created successfully. This is the ARN resource name. And after subscribe to the SNS topic, actually we have to confirm it. It says pending confirmation. That means we still I've already got an email here. So if I go to my email address, then I can see that I already got an email. So let's go to my email address, and then I will see if I have got it or not. Okay. Okay, there you go. I've already got the the SMS. Now I have to confirm this subscription. Yeah, I clicked confirm subscription, and now let's see what happens. Yeah, confirming subscription. Now the subscription is confirmed. the subscription is confirmed. So if I just refresh it, let's just refresh this page, then I will see that subscription confirmed or something like this here. Okay, subscription confirmed. Now that we might think, okay, we created the SNS topic and then subscribe to this SNS topic, so we can now select it here. But actually, add SNS topic, it's not going to work now. I will tell you why. So ARN, this is the ARN. Copy this ARN, paste it here. Okay. Yeah, something is wrong. Okay, let's try to delete marker created. Okay, let's just select it. Okay, you have to choose the events, for which events actually. So I chose delete marker created. I'll try to delete it. Versioning is already enabled there. So let's save it and see what happens. Yeah, it says unable to validate the following destination configurations. Permissions on the destination topic, that means this SNS topic, do not allow S3 to publish notifications from this bucket. So what happened actually, we created the topic, we subscribed to this topic, but in the access policy, we actually did not allow this S3 bucket to publish the notifications to this SNS topic. So we have to change this policy. So how can we do this? We have to click edit, and here in the access policy, you can actually change it. So how I will change it? I got this boilerplate flow. Now I actually didn't try it. I will try it here now for the first time. I will try to see if it works properly or not. Okay. Here it says update resource, update your SNS ARN. That means I need the ARN of my SNS topic. So I copied it from here and go there. The SNS topic is just okay. ARN dot okay, yeah, something. Okay, ARN dot colon AWS colon SNS. So AWS ARN AWS S3. Okay, yeah, I got it. Just put our ARN here, and then resource, update your SNS. Is that okay or not? Update your okay. Here should be our bucket name, and this is the SNS topic ARN, and this is the bucket name. Update your bucket name here. Yours. What is the bucket name? IDA DevOps class. Put the bucket name here, and then let's try to save it, and let's see if it works or not. I'm not sure if it will work or not, but even if it doesn't work, at least we saw the process, right? How we can do it. So it's here. I changed the access policy, and if I want to save it, what is it? Okay, there you go. One active notifications. Now this event have been enabled. So yeah, you see, I already got an email here. Let's go to that email and see what it says. Amazon S3 notification that if you wish, yeah, there you go. I got the email from there. So now I will actually see for we enable this event enable this notification for this event, right? Delete marker created. So we will actually filter. Okay. We will actually go to here. We can see we have a filter here, right? In there we will have to put the delete marker on any object in this image folder. Let's go to my image folder. The versioning should be enabled, otherwise you cannot put the delete marker. I've already showed it to you. Okay, here I am in that folder, image folder. Now if I click here and if I delete it, yeah, this hide option is selected, right? So I'm not seeing the versions right now. Now if I delete it, then I will actually put a delete marker here. Delete it. Okay, I put a delete marker here. Now let's see if I get any email or not. The last time when I enabled it, I got this email. Okay, there you go. I got this email. I put a delete marker here, right? So click so. Yeah, there you go. I see the delete marker here, and I've already got that email. Okay, let's see and what it says. Okay, yeah, I did not put any message here. If you click on public message, if you go to SNS and click on public message, then if you put here, hey, okay, hey, so delete marker was created in the bucket. Just put this message here in the body and publish it, and then I will put another delete marker. Okay, AWS notification message. That's because I changed what I did in the SNS there. So let's delete it from here, so it will show up there. I remove the delete marker. Now I will put, okay, what happened? What did I delete? Oh no, which one did I delete? Okay, whatever, no problem. Let's work with this fogful.jpg. So if I delete it, then I will put a delete marker on it. So let's see what I can see in the notification. I put a delete marker there. So okay, there you go, delete marker. I show it here. Okay, I will tell you one thing about that. Yeah, this is the latest message that I got. Okay, the message should show up here, but where is the message? Okay, the message should be somewhere, but okay, yeah, there you go. This is there. Hey, rule, a delete marker was created in the bucket. There you go. I got the message, right? So a delete marker was created. Okay, so one more important thing about versioning that I forgot to tell you. We see here, actually, I just put a delete marker on this file, right? fogful.jpg from there. If I delete it from here, yeah, then actually I deleted the original file. Why? Because that file was not actually a version. That was the original file, and I deleted that original file from there. That's why I can see right now we got only one file, because I deleted already two files. That's not a problem, because I'm not going to use that static website, right? So okay, this is how I created SNS. So now if you want to actually delete this SNS topic, then how can you delete it? Yeah, okay, where are you now? Okay, click on topics, and this is the bucket notification. Select it, delete it. You have to, it says to confirm deletion, enter the phrase delete me, copy it, paste it, and then delete it. Okay, there you go. Now our topic is deleted. Okay, if I click on properties right now, on active notification, our topic is deleted, so it's not going to work now. Okay, now the next topic, what is that? Requester page. So this requester page means if you enable it, then actually what you are going to do when anyone will make any requests, I mean, for any request, we can actually read from here. Requester will pay for requests and data transfer. If any data is transferred from your object, from your bucket to the requester will pay for that transfer and all the requests that the requester will make. So this is what it says at a high level. So if you just keep it in mind, for the AWS Certified Cloud Practitioner exam, this is enough, I think. Okay, so now we are done with properties. I will go to permission. So this block public access, this is very straightforward. You already saw it, right? If you click here, then if you want, you can block the public access from here. We just saw it. Then ACL, access control list. So ACL, actually what is ACL? We can actually control the access to our bucket using this option, block public access, using access control list, or using bucket policy. So access control list, actually it grants the basic read write permission, read and write permission. This is what it says. Access control lists are used to grant basic read write permissions to other AWS accounts. So if you want to give the read write permission to other AWS account, like suppose this is my account, right? So if I want to give the read write permission to this bucket to IDA's account, then I can do it from here. I have to add the account here, then I have to from here I can actually select the options, what type of permissions I'm giving you. Then this is bucket policy. So policy, in the last class in IAM, we saw that policies are written in JSON format, and we are very familiar with JSON as we are developer. So you have to write the policy here. So I just show one policy, right? The policies are written like this. This is in JSON format, and this is the way that we write the policy. So it's like scripting. So I'm not going into details of scripting right now because it's this is not that much important for the practitioner exam. So just know that in the bucket policy, this is written in JSON format, and here you can actually edit the access. I mean, yeah, you can grant access, you can block access to your bucket. And after that, course configuration. So course configuration, what does course means? Course means cross origin resource sharing. So let's talk about same origin resource sharing first. So what does that mean? Same origin resource sharing, that means the origin is the same. After that, the next thing is resource sharing. So suppose let's just show you one thing. Okay, it's actually disturbing much. Okay, if I click here, okay, this is my portfolio website, portfolioalarm.us. So this is the domain, right? portfolioalarm.us. Here, this is another page. So this is one page, this is another page, but their origin is the same. Their origin. Okay, am I in the meeting? Sorry about this. Okay, I'm still sorry about this. Actually, I yeah, I actually clicked here stop share. I'm sorry, something is wrong here. Okay, let's do it like this. So this is one page, and this is another page, and their domain is the same, popular.us. That means their origin is the same. This is the origin. This domain is the origin of this page and this page. So same origin resource sharing means as their domain is the same, this page can access the information of this page. How it will access it, that's a different thing. But no, at a high level, the same origin policy means as the domain is the same, that means the origin is the same, this page can access the information of this page. Also, the same in the same way, this page can access the information of this page. Now, one more thing. If I talk about like this is the AWS console, right? I mean, I'm going to talk about the cross-origin resource policy right now. So cross-origin resource policy means the domain, that means the origin will be different. So okay, so here this is one domain, this is one domain, and this is my personal domain. So if this web page wants to access the information of this page, then cross-origin resource sharing should be enabled between this page and this page, what it is at a high level. Okay, so I think you understood what it is. So how actually we can do it in S3 bucket? We have to create we have to put the configuration here, and then after putting the configuration, I don't have any boilerplate code here right now actually. Okay, but I just I just wanted to tell you that this is how you can do it. We have to put all the configuration here. After that, here you can see the save button, save option here, and then click hit save and then save it. So this is how we can actually do it. And I think you already got the idea of course, because it's important to know. And now in management, so in management we have lifecycle management, replication, analytics, matrix, inventory. I will basically talk about lifecycle and replication. Okay, so what is the lifecycle? Lifecycle, we know, right? We are developers, so or whoever you are, lifecycle, definitely we basically know what life cycle is at a high level. So for S3 bucket, the life cycle is, if you actually enable life cycle, then you can, here we can see it, if you read it, automate the transition of the object from one storage class to another storage class. So it's like doing the automation. And then also, if you want that, okay, I created the bucket, I created the object. Now I actually want this bucket to expire after 6 months. If you want, you can automate it using lifecycle. You will just enable it here. You will put the configuration here, all of the things. You will set it up, and after that, you don't need to worry about it. After 6 months, it will expire. And after 6 months, if you want, if you come back here and then want to see it, then you will not actually find it here. Okay, so let's go ahead and set up the. Let's get started with lifecycle rule. So click get started, and this is the lifecycle rule. So the first thing, we have to put a rule name definitely. So if I speak here, I does okay. Actually, I don't take it otherwise, please. Uh, actually, the bucket is in our name, so I does bucket lifecycle rule. Okay, this is the rule name, and then choose a rule scope. So scope actually, what's the scope of this rule? So what's the extent to which it can work actually? Expand its authority. Okay, just let's say the word authority. Mm. So limit the scope to specific prefixes or tags if you want it. If you want to actually create this lifecycle rule for any specific prefix, then you can do it. But actually, we want to apply it to all objects in the bucket. So you know what prefix and what suffix is, right? And also what tags are. So we want to create this lifecycle rule for all the objects in the bucket. Then click next. After that, transition. So I just told you that we can automate the transition of our objects from one storage class to another. So how I will do it? Here I can see. Okay, one important thing I need to show you. Before adding lifecycle rule, let's go to properties. Okay, what about versioning is disabled. Okay, let's go here. Let's go to management. Okay, that was all about replication. I'm sorry. Let's get started again. I does bucket lifecycle rule, then apply it to all objects in the bucket. Click next. Then we have two options: current version and previous version. So we might have multiple versions of our objects, right? So we can create the lifecycle rule for both the current version and the previous version. So let's do it for current version. Click here, and for current versions of objects, add transitions. So here it says object creation. So select a transition. Transition by default they are in S3 standard, right? I already showed it to you. So let's say transition to standard IA. That means standard infrequently accessed after 30 days. If you want to put 60 days, you can do that, no problem. Okay, so after creation of the object, put it to standard IA storage class. After 60 days, put it into standard IA storage class and add one more transition for them. So what is the transition? Let's transition to Glacier Deep Archive. Okay, transition is small objects to Glacier or Glacier Deep Archive will increase cost. Okay, that's just have the idea about it, because if you use Glacier Deep Archive or Glacier, then definitely it's a little, it will be, comparatively it will be costly, right? But that's a good topic for AWS Certified Solutions Architect exam. For the time being, just hit it. And what I'm saying, that after 60 days after the object creation, transition it to standard infrequently access, and 90 days after the object creation, transition into Glacier Deep Archive. So, and this is for the current version. And after that, if you want to create a transition, create a it to do it for the previous version, then you can. So for previous version of object add transitions, let's say previous versions transition to one zone I, when the object will be, I mean for the previous versions of the object after 30 days, I mean when the version will be previous after 30 days, 30 days after the version will be a previous version, transition it to one zone I. And if you want, you can add one more transition here. So this is how we do it. Then now let's click on next, and here we are, I was talking about the expiration of the object, right? So we can actually mm, choose the expiration time frame for both the current object and the previous versions. Let's just do it for previous version. So I am saying here like 200 days. So what I'm saying here, if you choose is, if you select this option, then the previous version of the object will be deleted 200 after 200 days. It will be permanently deleted. Okay, here we have other options like clean up expired object, delete markers, clean up incomplete multi-part uploads. We got two other options. If you click on next, then after that, yeah, it says this rule applies to all objects in the bucket. If you want the rule to apply to specific objects, you must use a filter to identify those objects. Okay, okay, it's actually giving me a warning that because I want them to be permanently deleted after 200 days. So it says that this rule, whatever rule I created, it actually applies to all the objects. So whatever, I just chose it and save it, and there you go. We created our lifecycle rule. So here it is our lifecycle rule. Now the next thing is replication. So replication, it can be same region replication, it can be cross region replication. It can be the same region replication or it can be cross region replication. So replication, what replication means? Replication means it will be replicated. This object will be, the objects will be replicated. So same region means we have another bucket in the same region. Suppose this is IDA DevOps class, right? So let's see, IDA DevOps class is in US East. So same region means we got another bucket in US East, North Virginia, and we will replicate the object of this bucket to that bucket. And cross region means we have another bucket in a different region other than US East, and we will replicate the objects of this bucket to that bucket. So other than doing same region replication, we will actually do cross region replication. So let's do it. Let's get started. And the first warning, what it says, the bucket doesn't have versioning enabled. So it is very important that I mean, it's a very important exam topic, that to enable replication, the versioning should be enabled first. So here in the properties, I see that the versioning disabled, right? So that warning showed up there. So we have to enable the versioning first. Here, I'll save it. And as we are going to do the cross region replication, so we have to create another bucket, right? Because we want to replicate the objects of this bucket to that bucket. So let's go ahead and create one more bucket in a different region. Okay, so cross Okay, bucket name should not, it cannot actually contain the capital letters. Okay, cross region replication, whatever, just put multiple ins. Okay, yeah, then just create it. Okay, this is cross region replication, this bucket. And now go to IDA DevOps Plus, and then management, then replication, then add rule. Yeah, the same thing, right? If you click on add rule, or if you click on get started, the same thing. That warning is not now showing up because we already enabled versioning of this on this bucket. So here the first thing is, do you want to replicate the entire bucket, or you want to limit it to any specific prefix or tags? I want to replicate the entire bucket. And then it's important to know when you will actually replicate anything from this bucket to another bucket. If you want, you can encrypt the object. If you want, you can encrypt the object and then replicate the encrypted object to that bucket. So I'm not going to do that. If you want, I'm just telling you that you want, you can do it if you want. So let's hit next. Then we have to select the destination bucket here, where the replication will be done. The replicate objects will be created. So this is the, okay, no, I just messed up here because I wanted to create it in a different region actually. So just delete it. Okay, now if you want to delete this bucket, then you have to put the bucket name here, then confirm it, then this filter. So let's create a bucket in a different region. Let's select the region. Just select, okay, I'm selecting US West, North Carolina. I'm putting it cross region replication. Just create it. Okay, that bucket is created. Now go to IDA DevOps Plus and replication, add rules, enter bucket. After that, hit next, then select the bucket. This bucket, it's in the bucket doesn't have versioning enabled, so we know one more thing. What is that thing? That we have to enable the versioning on both the buckets. Okay, so the versioning is not enabled on this bucket, so we have to enable versioning in that bucket also. So let's go to inside this bucket and properties. After that, click versioning, then enable versioning. Okay, now the versioning is enabled on in this bucket also. So is there any option to, okay, it will now click next. Okay, let's click enable versioning. Okay, if you want, then you can also enable versioning from here. Now it says if you want, you can actually change the storage class in this bucket. I mean, when these objects will be replicated to this bucket cross region RRRR, then they will be actually stored in a different storage class other than S3 standard. If you want, you can change the object ownership. I'm gonna do that. Then replication time control settings. If you click here, then you can actually replication time control replicas 99.99% of your new objects within 50 minutes. Okay, I'm not gonna select that. Hit next, and then it's actually important, right? We have to add an IAM role. So what is that IAM role? We have to add an IAM role, and this bucket, the current bucket, needs to assume that role so that it can put the objects of this bucket to this bucket, right? So we have to create a role. So is there any role here? Just no. there's no role like that. So enter a name. Okay, create a new role. Create. Okay, let's go there. Let's go to IAM, Identity and Access Management, and then we will create a role there. Okay, hit role, create role. So so who is going to use it? S3. Select use case allows S3 to call AWS services on your behalf. Click S3. Next, permissions. So what is the permission? I'm actually going to give it S3, not read-only permission. Let's give it for the time being S3 full access. Tags, no tags, hit review, role name. For cross region replication. Okay. It says allows S3 to call AWS services on your behalf. Create role. Now this role is created there. If I click here, okay, I cannot see it now. Yes, I hit previous, now hit next again, and then see if we see it there or not. Okay. Auto is scaling. Okay, I don't see the role here actually. Hit previous. Okay, okay, I actually, let's click next again. Hit next again. Now see if I can see it. Oh no. Add rule. Okay, entire bucket. Then next. Then select bucket. This cross region. Hit next. Select a role. Now there you go. I can see it for cross region replication. Select it. Then rule name. What is the rule name? Replication rule. What is the replication rule? Cross region replication. Status enabled. Okay, we are enabling it. Now hit next. I can see our configuration here. If we hit save, okay, now the replication configuration updated successfully. We can see all the information here, and we can see that the storage class will be the same. The scope is entire bucket. Objects are not going to be encrypted. Now, as I enable cross-region replication here, let's see if it works or not. So I told you that the cross-region replication means I created a bucket in a different region, and the objects of this bucket IDA DevOps class should be replicated to that bucket, right? This cross-region RRR. But will we see any bucket object here? No, we don't see any object here. Okay, why don't we see any object here? Because the cross-region replication will work only when we will enable it. So we just enable the cross-region replication. Whatever the objects were, they are not going to be replicated. If we add something else, then it's going to be replicated. So how I will actually make sure we see that it's not there, these objects are not replicated here, right? So for our simplicity, let's come here, let's select everything, so let's just delete them. Let's just delete them. Okay, for our simplicity. Okay, everything is deleted. Now, okay, I deleted this object, right? I deleted the object from this bucket after enabling cross region replication with this bucket. So did the deletes replicate to this bucket? Just refresh it. No, they are not replicated. Okay, hit show. No, we are not seeing any version. Hit hide. We are seeing nothing actually here. So it's very important to understand that deletes are not replicated. Deletes are not replicated. So now put something here, and we will see if puts are replicated or not. So if you put aws.txt file here, upload it here. Okay, this file is uploaded. Now see if it's uploaded here or not. Okay, there you go. See, this is IDA DevOps class. This is one bucket. This is a different bucket, right? So here we can see this object. Okay, we are seeing the version actually. Hide it. Yeah, here we see that object, and the same object here we see here. Now, if we saw that deletes are not replicated. Let's put a delete marker here, and we will see whether delete marker are replicated or not. So put a delete marker here. Now show the versions, and we can see we put a delete marker here. Now let's go to this bucket cross region RRR and refresh it. We see nothing. We see the same object here. Let's show the versions. Okay, no, we are not seeing any delete marker here. So deletes and delete marker are not replicated, but puts are replicated. Okay, now let's do one more thing. Let's remove the delete marker from here first. Okay, click on hide. Okay, AWS. Now remove from here. Okay, now remove rule from here, and we will see actually. Okay, I removed from rule from here, and I saved it, and I will upload this file again, and then see what we. Okay, but before that, let's see what we have here. Click on this URL. Will you see it? We don't see it because it's not public. So okay, we cannot make it public because this bucket is not public. So let's make this bucket public first. So one more important thing, that to enable cross-region replication, we don't need to make the buckets public. To enable cross-region replication, we don't need to make the buckets public. Okay, I made the bucket public. Now I need to make this specific object public. Make it public. Make public. Okay, I made it public. Now refresh this page. Yeah, there you go. I can see fork rule, and I edited it here. Now upload that file to IDA DevOps class of bucket. Okay, I uploaded it. There you go. This is the new version, and let's see if it's replicated here or not. It should be replicated. Okay, excuse me. Okay, let's do it. Yeah, this is the previous version that I'm seeing here, right? I have to. Okay, if we show all the version, then I can see here. I can see two versions here, right? This is 853 here. This is 853. So this is the latest version. So I have to see the latest version. Whatever the latest version, make it public at first. Okay, I made it public. Click here again and go to this link and see. Okay, I don't see fork rule here, but okay, no, what am I doing? Okay, I'm sharing the screen. Yeah, Let's minimize this and see. Okay, I don't see Fakul here, but this is the previous version. I see Fakul. So that means the puts are being replicated, but deletes and delete markers are not being replicated. So this is important to keep in mind. So we did a very important thing. We just finished it. We just finished the cross-region replication. Okay. So I'm not going to talk about analytics, metrics, and inventory. Maybe in some other class. It's already almost 2 hours. I will just talk about access point for some time, and then we will finish our class. So access point, what is the access point for S3? Actually, let's click on create access point so that we can better understand it. Access point, we can actually create it in 2 ways. I mean, the network access type can be of 2 types. One is the virtual private cloud, VPC, and one is internet. So you have to put a name here, access point name, and then you have to choose the network access type. So what is the network access type? If you choose VPC, virtual private cloud, so this access point will work only for the requests generated from that specific VPC or virtual private cloud. We didn't still talk about VPC or virtual private cloud, but just think that VPC is another network environment, cloud network environment. Okay, so from that network environment, if the request is generated, then this access point will work. But if we select internet, then this access point will, anyone from anywhere of the world can use this access point, but they definitely need to uh, follow. I mean, here we can actually restrict the access. So they definitely need to go by pass everything, pass all these restrictions first. Then they can use it. Then they can use it. But at a high level, internet, the access type internet means we can access it over the internet after passing all these types of restrictions. So one important thing here is that only when we will create the access point, we can select the access type. After creating the access point, we cannot change it. So if I select internet here, if I select VPC here, then we have to put the VPC ID. We have to create the VPC, but we didn't actually learn about VPC yet. So I'm not going to do that. Let's select internet. After that, we can actually put restrictions here. Do you want to block all public access or you don't? I'm just removing it. Then access point policy. We can put the access point policy here in JSON format. After that, hit create access point, and then we can create the access point. Or if you select virtual private cloud, then we have to create a VPC virtual private cloud, then put the VPC ID here and do the same for them, and then create the access point. So we are almost done with our class. I will just show you where VPC is. Let's click on service, and virtual private cloud, it's actually under networking and content delivery, VPC. Click on VPC, virtual private cloud. Okay, and this is what it looks like. Here, click on your VPCs and we can see the VPC, virtual private cloud. This is the default virtual private cloud that we have here. So we will talk about this is the VPC is very important for the exam, and if you are going to work as a cloud engineer or DevOps engineer, then you have to understand it. So we will talk about VPC later. So that's it. We are almost done. We talked about access point. We talked about management. I didn't talk about analytics, metrics, and inventory. Maybe I will talk about them later. Then we talked about permission. We talked about properties, all of the properties, and in overview, we've also talked about them, right? So now we did everything. If you want to delete your buckets, how will you delete it? Click here, click delete, and copy this bucket name from here, put it here, and hit confirm. Okay, now that bucket is deleted. Also delete this bucket, click, copy this bucket name, paste it here, and confirm. Okay, that bucket is also deleted. So there you go. It was supposed to be a 1 hour class, but actually S3 is a very, S3 is, it's a huge topic, and it's a very important topic actually for the exam. So it's actually extended to 2 hours. So, but whatever, we saw a lot of things. I think you guys, those who are practicing for the cloud uh, practitioner certificate, it's going to be a very useful video for you guys. And also those who are taking preparation for AWS Certified Cloud Solutions Architect, this video is really very much helpful because I covered almost everything for the Certified Solutions Architect exam. So that's it for today, and after 1 week we will again learn something new. Maybe we are going to learn about Elastic Compute Cloud EC2 in the next class. So thank you so much. This is Praful Alam. I'm a full stack web developer. Have a good time and learn together. Learn with Praful because Praful wants to learn with you guys. And thank you so much, Ida. Thank you so much for attending the class, and I will definitely want to see you in the next class. Hope for the best. Thank you. Bye.